But anyways, though, so I wanted to talk about Tyson Fury, former WWE superstar. He's recently said, pro wrestling's harder on the body than boxing is. I thought it'd be easier.
Yep.
I might just stick to boxing.
Nah.
Yeah, nah. So shout out Fury, man. He gets it. And it's the truth. It bangs up your whole body. Boxing, you can get away with avoiding a lot of the shots. Speaking of which, he had a boxing match in Saudi Arabia against Francis Ngannou. And I was explaining this off pod to Hairline, and we were both like, oh, save it for the show, because I was kind of getting into the weeds there. So why this match was important, and I'm about to pop Hairline with this even. Tyson Fury is the lineal heavyweight champion of boxing. He's got like 4 heavyweight titles, right? The WBO, the WBC, the WBA, the fucking, right? So Francis Ngannou, or do you know about Tyson Fury's backstory? Tons of mental health struggles, alcoholic, almost killed himself, lost like 200 pounds. He's still like 300 pounds, but he's like Walter. He lost a shitload of weight, and he's a gypsy.
Ooh, Gunther?
Yeah, Gunther, sorry. I said Walter.
Much better.
Yeah, but dummy, yeah. So Tyson Fury, right? He's the Gypsy King, and he's the greatest boxer of all time. He's never lost. He's a big heavyweight, 6'9", long reach. You've seen him in WWE. You see he's a big boy. Yeah, so he's the greatest boxer ever, and he's got a fucking dad bod, but he's just technically, he's one of the best in the world. Francis Ngannou is a man who grew up in Cameroon in Africa, and he was digging sand pits as a child. He was captured and imprisoned, Hairline, by like warlords and shit. He escaped it. Got away in the ocean. They caught him, bro. Brought him back. Digging sand pits. Escaped again. Got away. Came to the UFC. Knocks out everyone to death. Is the hardest hitter. The hardest recorded punch in human history is Francis Ngannou. He wins the world heavyweight title, does not re-sign with the UFC because he says, let me go box. And he's like, pay the fighters more money. I want to be on the board to represent the fighters, to make sure that we have the fighters' best interests at hand. He won the world heavyweight UFC belt, Hairline. They were like, no, you're going to fight for the peanuts we give you, because I'm sorry, in MMA and UFC, they really don't pay these motherfuckers. Now, that's getting better and better every year. And they do pay their athletes incredibly well, like all things considered. But compared to like NFL guys and shit, MMA guys, they do not get paid. And they're fucking beating themselves up, man. And compared to boxers, like Ngannou made like $100 million for this fight or something like that, dude. And that's all he wanted to do. He's like, UFC, let me please, like, as your world heavyweight champion, let me go to boxing and I'll fight the best heavyweight boxer of all time. The UFC's like, nope, you're under contract with us, da-da-da-da. So he left with their world title, Hairline, fought the best boxer of all time.
It's like Bret Hart.
Bro, he's Bret Hart. He's Bret Hart. No, Ngannou's the GOAT, bro. He went and he fought the GOAT boxer yesterday, Hairline, in Riyadh to kick off Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And yeah, sorry, but like, I'm sorry, like, we gotta put it over, right?
Yeah.
Ngannou, Hairline, knocked down the champion, beat him up. He's all bloody, his eyes fucked up, knocked him down, rocked him around. It was a good, well-paced, even fight. This was Ngannou's first ever professional boxing fight. And everyone's like, this is a joke. Before the match, Tyson Fury signed a contract to fight a whole other guy 1 month later, Hairline. That's how disrespectful he was being. Ngannou took him to the limit, knocked down the boxing GOAT, dude. Ngannou did. Went decision. All 10 rounds went decision. The judges stole it from Francis Ngannou in a clear, rigged. So this is why boxing is dead. Now, everyone can say, oh, it is what it is. Boxing is dead. Like, boxing will always make sure the boxer wins. They did it in the Jake Paul fight too, right? Like, and I'm not saying Jake Paul like won that fight, but you see how. So basically, all the one judge had it for Ngannou, the other judge had it for Fury by 1 point, which I was like, that's even bullshit. Like, Ngannou won this fight, but the last judge, Hairline, he had it scored 96-93. So like, without even explaining the scoring. Like, there's a huge discrepancy there where it's like, okay, wait, the other two judges had it a point apart, which is, everyone agrees it was a close fight. This one judge just had it all the way for Fury. It's like, that's rigged, and this is why boxing's dead. This is why MMA's overtaken it. It's the truth. This is why YouTubers had to come and resurge the popularity of fucking boxing, is because you motherfuckers, it's rigged and it's trash. I don't know. Ngannou won this fight, but they stole it from him, daddy. Like, they took the title from him in the Garden in Riyadh, daddy, in Saudi Arabia, in front of 100,000 people. Bro, this arena was huge. And Hairline's telling me off pod, he's like, dude, Vince McMahon's there with The Undertaker, with Mike Tyson. And by the way, Mike Tyson, Hairline, was in Ngannou's corner. He trained him for this fight. Now, I'm going to get in the weeds here and explain why this stuff's important, but also with Tyson, Israel Adesanya, Nigerian UFC former middleweight champion. Kamaru Usman, Nigerian former welterweight champion. Two of the GOATs in MMA as well. They were in Francis Ngannou's corner. Sitting with Vince McMahon and Mike Tyson, Hairline. Who was it?
Mike Tyson and Eminem, daddy, with
Eminem, daddy.
Kennedy McMahon.
And who's sitting behind them? Kanye fucking West. You know? Yeah,
what's his name now?
Who knows? Yeezus, Ye. I think it's Ye.
What was he wearing though? The better
bro, you know, I don't know. As long as he's not fucking saying anything, we're cool. Just sit there, make some fucking music and cheer on fucking Ngannou, you know? And so, dude, they had a huge Cameroon turnout as well. They were chanting for Francis, the whole arena, the broadcast team, everything. They championed Ngannou like he was going to be the victor. The odds switched, they robbed it from him. Anyways, Ngannou, instead of going, oh, they robbed me, this is bullshit. He's a French guy, so he's like a French African guy, so he talks like this. So he's like, instead of that, he's like, dude, this is my first fight. I'm gonna get better, and this was now I know what to do. I'm gonna learn, bro. He beat up and knocked and rocked around the GOAT heavyweight boxer. He's fucking crazy. It's great. So here's the aftermath. Why this is crazy is that no, Tony wishes he was there, bro. So Dana White, leading up to this fight, trashed Ngannou because he runs the UFC, and Ngannou left with their world heavyweight title. Okay, Dana White and Endeavor and Vince are all fucking business partners now. Vince and Endeavor and those guys were there to watch Ngannou and support Ngannou. They were sitting with Ngannou's people, watching him fight fucking Fury. But Dana White is beefing with fucking Ngannou, sort of, right? But here's my whole thing is this. After this performance, and Dana White was trashing it. He's like, it's a gimmick fight. It's nothing. Like, all this shit. Bro, all I'm saying is Ngannou might pop up in WWE, and don't be surprised if the UFC doesn't go look, and Endeavor doesn't go look, sir. We fucked up. Please come back here to the UFC, TKO, Endeavor. You don't work with Dana. You'll work with Ari. Yeah, you'll work with Vince. We'll get Vince on the phone with you. Yeah. All I'm saying is the other GOAT in MMA, the all-time GOAT ever, his name's John Jones, and he just moved up to heavyweight. So everyone's like, Jones.
Weight classes don't matter.
Jones and Ngannou. Weight classes don't matter. Fucking. And dude, with no weight limit in heavyweight and boxing, fucking Ngannou came in. He was weighing like 272. He's like, holy fuck, man. Just because in UFC, the limit's 265. You can't come in. So he used to cut a bit of weight to get there. This fight was phenomenal. And then Hairline's like, we should talk about this on the show. He sent me a clip, and I was like, oh, just so happens I wanted to talk about the fight. So